Hi guys, welcome back to Saints by Gift. On this episode, or in this video, we'll be talking about underrated K-dramas that I just feel like do not get enough public attention, I guess. But I know, like, we're all familiar with dramas. We're all familiar with dramas like Goblin, Descendants of the Sun, Boys Without Flowers, Vincenzo. You know, there's a lot of mainstream K-dramas, but there are some that just don't get enough attention that they deserve, and that's what I'm bringing to you today. And when I tell you, these K-dramas have either made me cry, laugh, or it's just so realistic that I'm like, now who took a video of my life and put it on the internet? Because what are we doing? But I have about 10 or 9 different recommendations, so just stay tuned in, let's lock in, and let's get this video started, okay? So as always, I have my trusted iPad and I have been looking for my pen and cannot. Okay, I found my pen. The first thing on my list is actually, it's not really an underrated K-drama, but I don't hear people talk about it a lot. It's Because This Is My First Life. This is one of the K-dramas that I would say is for people who are like super career focused and they're like, what do I do with my life? Like, I've done this, but like, what is next? Always looking for what is next, or just trying to be on top of everything that they've already done. I think this is for them. It's also for women in particular, because I think the movie really shows how women are treated in Korea and just how women have been treated in general for years to come. So it follows the story of this female lead who leaves her house because her dad is so backward minded. Like, he's so stuck in the past of men first, women second. So basically this girl worked her ass off after college to pay off her family's debt, and she also pays off their house. And she thinks that, oh, because she did all of this for her family and she paid off her house, or her family's house, the house would be in her name. Turns out the house was placed in her brother's name, who has done absolutely nothing, and her brother proceeds to knock up a girl, and now she's pregnant and living in her house. Isn't that crazy? And then the dad is just like, well, suck it up. And she's like, actually, no, this is crazy. Like, I gotta leave and go somewhere where I'm appreciated and just feel like I can be myself. So she leaves the house, packs up her things, and she looks for a roommate. And she's been living in this house, but she has not seen her roommates for a while because they just have different schedules, but they are exactly what each other have been looking for, like the perfect roommate. But turns out her roommate is a guy, and she's like, no, I gotta go, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And she proceeds to leave and goes to live in a studio where she works, but like other artists also have access to that studio. And one night she's asleep, and this one guy who has had a crush on her for years walks in and proceeds to assault her. Yeah, it was honestly like, it's a very sad scene, but she you know, found the help that she needed. She got out of the studio, went back to the apartment where she was sharing it with this one guy who has been respectful of her space and her time, and honestly has been like the perfect roommate. And she just, like, you know, opened up to him, and to her, he was a friend and he considered her the same way. And they're like, you know what, let's actually get married, because the guy is basically house poor. He has this house all to himself, but at the cost of what? At the cost of paying this super high mortgage. And it's like, we can be roommates and get married, and that's going to, like, you know, lower our payments and just like help us in general. So they decide to get like married just for papers and stuff, and from there their love decides or starts to grow, and it just comes into like something more. And she's just like trying to show her parent that she's okay, and this marriage is like what she wants, even though it's not really what she wants, but it's getting there. And her mom is like totally against this marriage. But the movie's a 10 over 10. I think everybody should watch it. I think it's a super eye-opening movie. It's funny and also deep at the same time, so it kind of like juggles the two perspectives, so it's not too much of a heavy drama and not too much of a super funny comedic drama at the same time. Moving on to the second one on my list is actually Misty. I don't think I've actually seen anyone talk about this K-drama, and it's on Netflix, so why are you not watching it? go watch it today. Okay, so Misty, listen, when it comes to morally great characters, I love them. Like, I live for them. Okay, Misty is kind of similar to The Art of Sarah. If you've seen The Art of Sarah, you can kind of have that same vibe from the movie. Or if you've seen Nothing Uncovered, it kind of has the same vibe. So Misty follows these anchor, this news anchor, who is super great at her job. And you know, Korea is like, beauty is everything. Like, when you're young, they want you to be the face of a company, but at this point, this news anchor is getting old, in their words. But she's super beautiful, very youthful in her face. But basically, the top dog of the company is like, listen, you're getting old, it's time for you to step down. There's a younger news anchor that can do your job and would prefer her to do the job. And this lady is basically like, no, this is my job. I have done this for years. People love to see me on TV, and I'll be damned to let a nigga fuck up my job just because you don't like the way I look or you don't like my age. No. But basically, that was the old beginning of the movie. And mind you, this young actress that is trying to take her job, she has no filter. She doesn't give a damn. She's like, I want your job, step down, you oldie. Like, it's time for the newbies, it's time for the young hoes. But yeah, so it follows that old synopsis. And when I tell you, this female lead, she's crazy. She's not having it. She's like, nobody's gonna take my job, number one, and I don't care what you think about me, I'm staying here. Like, I've been here and I'll continue to stay here. So it just follows like a bunch of drama and mystery. And along the way, she's the female actress who is the main lead is accused of murder, or she's a suspect in a murder case. And this is why I think it's super similar to the movie Nothing Uncovered, because the female actress in there was also a news anchor. She had more like a news program where she was uncovering crimes, and she ended up being a suspect in a murder case. So the lady in Misty also ended up being a suspect in a murder case. It was a super messy drama. There was like secrets in marriages, like marriage contracts, you know, classic K-drama thriller and suspense kind of vibe. I think you would really like it, especially if you like characters that are within the gray area of, is she a good person or is she wrong, and is she really wrong or is she just fighting for her life? That's the type of vibe that you would get. Okay, number 3 on the list is Prison Playbook. I actually don't know when I watched this. I think this was like almost 3 years ago when I watched Prison Playbook, but super good. Absolutely, like 10 over 10 chef's kiss. There are some characters that you've probably seen in multiple movies before, so you will definitely just love the movie once you see the trailer. But it follows the story of this successful baseball player. Like, his career is really soaring until his sister gets assaulted by a guy, and in self-defense of trying to get his sister away from this person and defending his sister, he overdoes it. Like, he just went all out and just like beat the crap out of this person who was trying to assault his sister. And when it all came boiling down, they had to take him to court because they were waiting for the person who he beat up to get better and defend themselves in court, but the person ended up dying, I believe. And so he was charged with excessive violence in self-defense, and he had to go to jail for like a year or so. So the drama really follows his life while he's in jail, and it's not sad, okay? There were some sad scenes, but it was not a sad drama. I think it was actually super funny. And I can insert like clips or something of like just super hilarious parts in the movie. It was a super great movie. It follows like him just navigating life in jail, he ended up finding out that one of his friends actually worked as like a guard in the prison or something. But super great movie, 10 over 10. I don't think I've seen a lot of people talk about Prison Playbook. I've seen a couple TikToks, but not a lot. So I think it's definitely something that I would recommend. And honestly, I want to hear more people talk about it so we can have a discourse, because that movie was really good. The next on my list was going to be Chicago Typewriter, but I want to talk about something else entirely. But before we get there, just let me know if you've seen any of these ones, or if you have any other underrated K-dramas that you just think should be out there, because why not? Okay, why not? I wanted to talk about The Trunk. I think this is now number 4 on my list. Actually, let me check. Okay, yeah, this will be number 4 now. Okay, The Trunk is super good. I think I was trying to find out like where's this movie going at first, but then because I mainly watched it because Gun Yu was the male lead in there, like the guy from Goblin was the male lead in there, and I was like, I have never seen him in any other movie that was like super romantic besides Goblin. Like, yes, he has other movies like Squid Game, Train to Busan, but I wanted to see something more romantic or something where he plays a different character, and The Trunk was that movie. Okay, so it's on Netflix if you want to check it out. But The Trunk follows a guy who is basically depressed and is like super sad in his marriage after his child passes away during pregnancy, and his wife absolutely blames him for this. So she's like, I think we need time apart, and so I have another partner and I want to explore this relationship, and I think you should explore a different relationship as well. And if at the end of this given time period you still think that you are invested in our marriage, then let's continue with what we have, but right now I don't want to be with you. So she arranges for the male lead to get married to somebody else through like a marriage business center type of thing. It's like, imagine like a blind date company, but instead they're picking out a bride for you. So they pick his wife picked out a bride for him, and this bride is she's weird. She's like very suspicious, like she's trying to get something out of him, but no, she actually just wants the best for him. So she's trying to like figure out his lifestyle. This is crooked. So she's trying to figure out his lifestyle, what he likes, what he's not into, and that's where she starts to uncover some things that his wife has been doing. Like, she has been heavily medicating him and just like blaming him for multiple things that has nothing to do with him, and he has taken so much of that blame that he's just at this point just depressed and angry and just almost maniac at this point. But it's a super great movie. One of the actors was Egon from Singles Inferno. If you watch Singles Inferno, the guy that was that came in like last minute as the bombshell, he was the person that the wife was married to from that company. So the husband married to somebody from that company, and then the wife also married to somebody from that company. But super messy movie, but also super romantic at the same time. Like, I don't know how to explain it fully to be able to sell that movie to you, but it was 10 over 10 chef's kiss. I think you should watch it. Okay, let me know what you think. Now back to what was actually on the list for number 4, which I'm going to make number 5. We have Chicago's Typewriter. Honestly, I'm gonna look up the actor of that movie because he has super great movies. He was in Hellbound. He is such a great actor. Like, his career just got ruined. Like, you're ruining it. But I'm gonna look up who the actor was. Pause. Okay, so I found the main actor who was in Chicago Typewriter. You are in. This man is such a great actor. Like, I just feel like his career just went, like, it was, and then I really wish this guy would be put in more movies. Like, I don't think you understand how good this man is. Like, he's on the same level as like Park Seo-joon. Matter of fact, Park Seo-joon is not that good, but like, I'm just giving you how good he is, because Park Seo-joon, Lee Min-ho, like, they're all on like this super high level when it comes to acting. Like, that's where I would put You Are In. He is just such a great actor, and I think they need to bring him back out there. I think it was because he did like weed one time. I should say like greens, or because he used to garden at one point and it's illegal in Korea. That was why like they stopped putting him in movies. But bring my man back. Bring back like great actors, okay? Like we don't have them like we used to. Oh my gosh. But if you've not seen this movie, then you really need to watch this movie. Especially when it was in Secret Affairs. Oh my god. But let's not get off track. We were talking about Chicago's Typewriter. I was just trying to figure out what his name was. Okay. So Chicago Typewriter is about is played by the main actor Yu In, and in this role he plays a writer that is super famous. Like he wrote this super insane book that just went like, I don't know, it was just super popular. Okay, he was a great writer and everybody knew that. But when it was time to write his new book, he had writer's block, and he was this person who was always like, I will not have a writer's block. I know how to write. I know I've been doing this, like I've been grinding to make myself this person. There's no reason for me to have a writer's block, until he had a writer's block. And that was when he came across this weird girl who entered his house even though his house was locked. And he's like, how the fuck did you get in my house? She said, your dog opened the door. He said, I don't have a fucking dog. Like, get out. Are you a crazy fan? Get out. Like, and she's like, no, I actually came to deliver this typewriter to you, which was sent from Chicago. And he's like, well, I didn't order any typewriter, so you need to leave. And it's like, no, it was addressed to you, to your home address, so I have to deliver it to you. So can you sign this package so it can reflect that I actually delivered this package to you? And it's like, I did not order this typewriter. That was my dog. But he's like, I did not order this typewriter, so take that shit away. But the typewriter was sent to him from someone in Chicago because the person started experiencing supernatural activities from that typewriter, and like everything that the actual owner of the typewriter was experiencing was tying back to Yu In. And they're like, you need to get this typewriter to Yu In, like right now. This typewriter is not yours, get it back to him. And so they send the typewriter from Chicago down to Korea, and that's how he ends up in his house. But the typewriter is really about him, or it is connected to Yu In's past in like the 1940s or something, where he was also a writer in that decade. And at this point, like, his current reality starts to fade into the past, and he's really questioning, like, am I in the past or am I in the present? Like, what is really going on? Because this is becoming way too woozy. But it's kind of hard to explain what the movie is about unless you see the trailer. So I think I'll just insert like a clip of the trailer so you can have an idea of what I'm talking about. But Chicago Typewriter is a really great movie. I think it's not really talked about a lot, and I would like to see more people talk about it. Okay, so let's move on to number 6 on the list. Be Melodramatic. If I make 100 videos on my YouTube channel, Be Melodramatic will always be on that list. Why? Because it's just such a great movie, and until I learn how to tell people about this movie, and until I see the whole world talking about this movie, I will not stop. Sorry. Composure. Okay. But if you want like a witty, funny drama that's also like you're watching the lives of you and your friends on TV, then watch Be Melodramatic. It follows like the story of 3 women in their 30s just navigating careers and relationship. And when you just listen to some of the conversations, you're like, I feel like this is my life on TV. Like, it just sounds like a conversation between you and your friends, and just things that you would say. And that's why I just love the show, and I just can't help but recommend it every single time. And when I talk about top tier petty, like the characters in there are petty, they're so weird, and like they curse a lot, and it's just so good. It is so good. Okay. And every time I get bored and I'm like, I don't know what I want to watch, even though I have like hundreds of lists waiting for me, I just turn on Be Melodramatic, because why not? It's just such a comfort show. I love it. I love it. But that was my number 6. Moving on to number 7, we have Beauty Inside. I think Beauty Inside is not that underrated. I think it's just such an old show that people don't talk about it anymore. But it follows the female lead, and she basically, I don't know if it's a curse or if that's just like her family line, but basically she turns into like different people at certain times. Like she might be a woman today who is skinny, and tomorrow she's a chubby woman, and then the day after she's a man. And she's also an actress, so you can imagine how crazy her life is, because she's trying to balance being her actual self and trying to not turn into somebody else. And during all of this chaos, she proceeds to fall in love with somebody, and somebody falls in love with her, and it's like, well, how can I fall in love with somebody if I wake up as somebody else the next day? But it turns out she fell in love with somebody who's super great, and it's just like super loving, and it doesn't mind her turning into like whoever she turns into. I think she turned into a dog at some point. Hey, I don't know if my love is that deep, but you do you, boo. Super great movie. It was actually super funny at the same time, so I think it's something that you should check out. I want to hear more about the movie. I want to yap more about it, so let me know if you've seen it. Let me know if you think it wasn't that great. I think it was great for its time period. Maybe not in 2026, but it was a super great movie. Okay. Moving on to number 8, 100 Days My Prince. This was actually when I saw 100 Days My Prince, that was the first time that I actually found out that Do Kyung-soo from EXO actually acts. And don't come for me because I'm an EXO fan, okay? That's their poster at the back. Been a fan since day one. Well, not really day one, really, probably like 2019, okay? But that was when I actually found out that Do Kyung-soo was in a movie. I knew Chan Yeol was in a movie, and I think Kai as well, but I didn't know that Kyung-soo was in the movie. But anyways, let me give you the synopsis of 100 Days My Prince. It's about this prince who loses his memory and ends up living as a commoner. And the situation he gets into is just like absolutely hilarious. And while he's trying to live as a commoner, like different things are just unraveling. I think it's like a super great movie of, if you want to see your idol just act, or if you're looking for something chill that you've not seen before, or you just need a different, I don't know, type of vibe or historical K-drama that you want to watch, I would absolutely recommend 100 Days My Prince. And if you want to see other movies by Do Kyung-soo, you can also watch The Manipulated, which came out in 2025, ending into 2026, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. The 100 Days My Prince was pretty good. I think it's still on Netflix. I don't think they've taken it off yet, so you might be able to watch it on there. Number 9 on the list, because I already talked about The Trunk. Number 9 is Man to Man. Also an old movie. I think this was 2017, which you would think 2017 was just 9 years ago. Yes, it is old. Okay, but it follows like this, I don't even know how to describe him. I'll call him an agent at this point. He follows this agent where he was assigned to a case as a bodyguard to a celebrity, but even though he's a bodyguard to the celebrity, there is this lady that's always with the celebrity that is kind of like his protector, his manager, and things like that. And she's just not having this bodyguard thing. She's like, there's just something about you that I don't like, and I'm gonna figure it out because you're sauce. I don't like you. Like, there's just something about you, and when I find out, you're getting fired. Well, the only thing she ended up finding was love, to cut the old long story short. So that's Man to Man for you. Watch it. I'm gonna reserve what I have to say. Just watch it, okay? Number 10 on my list is Our Beloved Summer. Oh my god, I think it's not a movie for everybody, but it's also a great movie. And I also don't think it's underrated, but I don't think it's talked about enough, which is why I have it on my list. But it follows this couple where they knew each other in high school and they dated in high school. One of them was like the bottom of the class and the other is like the top of the class. So the female actress is Dami, and the male actor is Cho Yeon-sik, I believe, or Choi Woo-sik, I believe, either one of the two. But the female actress was Dami. So Dami is like the top of the class, and Woo-sik is like the bottom of the class, and they're paired together. Like, so she could help him, like, improve his grade, and they end up falling in love, but ended up breaking up in college, I believe. And he's like, the next time I see you, I'm gonna throw salt at you, so don't let me ever see you again. But it turns out that they have to be in this documentary together, and they have to work together, because he later in life turned out to be a successful movie director or movie critic, and she has to work with him. And so she shows up to his house, and he's just like, I'll be right back. And then he goes into his house, takes a bunch of salt, and just start throwing it at her. But honestly, I think it was a super great movie, super funny, super lighthearted. I think it's something that everyone should watch, especially because it's almost summer. So you need that summer loving vibes, to get, I don't know. I think it's a great movie. So watch it. But yeah, that was the last thing on my list. So let me know your thoughts on any of this drama, which one you liked, which one you really disliked, or which one you think it's not worth the watch. I think every single one of them was worth watching, and I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't think it was great to me. So let me know if you have any other underrated K dramas, and I will see you in the next video.